Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, so I've been working on this reading and I wasn't sure if I was going to do a video or if I was going to just do a written message for you guys. But, today's November the 14th, 2025, and it's a 7-day. It's a 7-day. Hold on. Okay, so it's a 7-day. 7 always brings us into introspection, spiritual refinement, and heightened intuitive awareness. So the collective message this morning is deep. Okay, so it started with these two cards. Throat release and release old patterns. Now, these cards are part of a deck called Intuitive Whispers by Maud Hurst. And there's 4 sections that these cards belong to. The first 2 sections are the stage of listening and the stage of clearing. And these stages all relate back to chakras. But in the stage of listening, we're being asked to listen to our bodies. So the card Throat Release this is your body saying, I'm holding too much. What happens when we don't allow our throat chakras to open is our throats, our physical throat, can become sore, tight, hoarse. What are you not communicating that needs to be released is what this card asks. What are you holding in and trying to solve alone? For me, personally, it was a generational mother wound that I have been able to trace back to my great-great-grandmother, but I'm sure that the pattern goes back even further than that. This is about communicating your feelings, communicating your truth. The throat is a pressure valve for the emotional and the ancestral body. Alright, so next we have the card Release Old Patterns. And I'll show it to you again. See the maze and the 3 doves and the crescent moon. Okay. This is our stage of clearing. This is what needs to be cleared. This card is about unconscious thought patterns that hold us back from stepping into our power. When I see this card, I see the horns of Hathor. And that's about ancient emotional memory. Over-adaptation, silencing our needs. I also saw the 3 doves, and I immediately thought about freedom and purity and spiritual release. 16 plus 9. +9 is 25, and 25 equals 7. Today's a 7-day. Spiritual release. So what you avoid communicating begins to manifest physically. The pattern you unconsciously carry forward now becomes your story. okay? So when I asked what this pattern was, what these patterns were that the collective is holding on to, I pulled the shapeshifter and the shadow. The shapeshifter, we need this energy to adapt. We need it for survival. This is the ability to become what was needed in the room, being able to monitor others to avoid conflict and stay safe. This is evolutionary. It's a survival pattern. It's the mask that we wore when we weren't heard as a child. Or just when we're not heard, period. And maybe we were heard as a child, but we carried some kind of pattern forward, and then later in life we became not heard. So we developed the shapeshifter in order to survive that situation. The shadow is the cost of shapeshifting. That's how it shows itself. This is losing our true voice, speaking only what is acceptable rather than authentic. It's self-silencing to keep the peace. It's absorbing emotions that aren't ours and taking responsibility for other people's emotions. So the pattern that must be released is the part of us that believes we must become something else in order to be loved, safe, accepted, or understood. Stop morphing into versions of yourself that no longer fit the life that you're trying to build. So, why did we develop the shapeshifter? Seven of Wands, Page of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and the mystery card, the Ace of Swords. Ooh, the Nine of Pentacles is under the Page of Pentacles. So I'll keep these two together. We've got 7-7 on the table. How appropriate for a 7-day. Ooh, okay. At the bottom of the deck is the Four of Wands and the Hierophant. The Hierophant card, in this case, is about not allowing the expectations of others to dictate our feelings. So not allowing other people to... This is literally taking off the mask. This is getting rid of the shapeshifter. This is becoming ourselves. This is speaking our truth. This is becoming the leader for ourselves. And then the Four of Wands here. The magpie. The magpies are all about communication, community, and celebration. Okay, so the underlying energy for the collective here is learning how to become who we're supposed to be. And it's the underlying energy. So you already know this. The Seven of Wands, this is about holding our standing our ground. Here I'm seeing like a, here I'm seeing this alligator. There's a white stag in the background. And the alligator is keeping the smaller gators back so that it can receive sustenance from this white stag. And we have the Page of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles together here. The Page of Pentacles, this is young exploratory energy. This is seeing this is also 10 Pentacles. Carrying the new seeds that we've brought from our lessons. Carrying those new seeds forward and planting them for our independence. We, the Nine of Pentacles, this is about our emotional and spiritual wealth, leading us to our sovereignty, to our independence, to our freedom. You've collected all your wisdom, and now you're standing on your own 2 feet. You don't need anybody else's opinion of you to dictate how you move, how you react, how you absorb. You're doing that just fine, all on your own. The Seven of Cups. It's the illusions, the dreams, the possibilities. On the Ace of Swords, it's your truth. So when the old patterns keep us stuck, they keep us very defensive and reactionary, not speaking our truth and holding those feelings in, holding those emotions in. 1055. The consequence of that can present itself in the physical body. So I said that I was thinking about that generational mother wound when I opened up this reading. And while I was seen as a child, I never felt like I was heard. Like my opinion and my voice never mattered. I never felt like I was ever given the space to express how I felt about things. I was very dismissed. And like I said, this pattern goes way far back. Every generation, it may not look the same for every generation, but it is essentially the same core. Till it got to my mom. My mom had to... She had a... She has this perceived sense that she needs to control, because control is what kept her safe, which it's for everybody. Control keeps us safe. So that can manifest in ways that stifle our children. It prevents the children from growing, from developing their own opinions, from developing their own way of moving in the world. So we're constantly on a defense and having to control. We're trying to control others, and we're trying to control ourselves, and that idea of control is an illusion. Nobody has any control of anybody, ever. And once we all start to see our own sovereignty, that then becomes... Sorry, my dog decided to escape the yard and I had to go get her. What I was talking about was control, and how we stifle our children. We prevent their growth. They don't, when we control and micromanage and helicopter mom these kids, they don't learn boundaries with other people. They don't learn boundaries for themselves. They become reactionary as adults. They become control freaks themselves, and they never learn that true safety lies here. So we need to escape the... We need to escape the illusion of control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have an octopus here holding on to the coin. Taking that seed that was planted and moving into the ether. Let me see what the book says about this card, because this is the Guardian of the Night Tarot, and I love the imagery. I love the artwork. I'm such a nerd. I really do collect. I collect these tarot decks because I love the artwork. When I was a kid, I used to sit with these giant books that came from museums, and they were full of the artwork that was in these museums, and I used to sit with them as a kid and just immerse myself in the artwork from artists like Michelangelo and Raphael and Leonardo da Vinci. I love art. Okay, so this Page of Pentacles. The octopus represents intelligence, flexibility, adaptability, concealment, and regrowth. So it says this wise octopus brings a wealth of assets, from the ability to strategically camouflage itself to regenerating a missing arm, to your situation. When you call on the octopus's energy, you will feel supportive forces from every angle, creating and generating abundance. The Page of Pentacles brings the message that you have the power to manifest that which you desire. Seize the opportunity when it arises. So, you have the ability to manifest your own independence, to break out of the perceived control of other people. You have the ability to regenerate and heal yourself from your, the shapeshifter. Right now you're wishing that you could fill up your own cup, but it's just an illusion. You absolutely have the ability to fill up your own cup, and this is the truth. This is the truth. You have the ability to fill up your own cup. So I'm going to suggest the underlying energy here is the Hierophant. I mean, you hold the key. You hold the key to your own freedom, to your own independence. That's you, just you. this whole story, this whole journey, this whole collaboration of energy that we call life, it's all about the self. When you step into the energy of the Hierophant, other people see you. Other people see your healing. They see your ability to manifest. They see everything. And that's inspirational to other people. The Four of Wands, this is your celebration. This is your party. This is, you know, celebrating the fact. This is other people celebrating the fact that you got out of the illusion. You broke free of the matrix. And that's what the goal of life is for everybody. Not everybody came here and reincarnated at this time to do that. Some people have big lessons to learn, so they end up being stuck in this energy for a while, and they're not meant to wake up this time. But this collective is waking up. This collective is seeing the truth. It was always about you. It was always about you. It was never about your mom. It was never about your dad. It was never about your siblings. It was always about you and what you think of yourself, how you feel. All right. We also have the card Gratitude for the Past. This was at the bottom of the deck. This now becomes our advice. Hold gratitude. Hold gratitude for the things that you've gone through, for the wounds, for the lessons. Well, remember, nothing ever happens to you. It always happens for you. When we start seeing the bad things that happen to us as a lesson, as wisdom. Look at the owl. When we start seeing these things as information, then the pattern, let's see if you can see it, then the pattern becomes fully visible and you can break out of it. So that becomes my message for today on this 7-day. So 7/7, it's a 7-day, and the cards added up to 7. I love you. I love you. You can do this. Start journaling. Start talking about how you feel. You're not responsible for anybody else's feelings. So if somebody hurt you and you need to tell them, do it. Who fucking cares? Their shadow's going to reveal itself, and you know, that's their lesson. Let them be triggered so they can grow. Have a lovely weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.